Chapter 10, The Trial of Heart. The group emerged from the cave, their bond stronger than ever. They knew that with Sipeo's help and their unwavering determination, they could face any challenge that lay ahead. As they ventured further into the forest, the trees began to thin, revealing a serene meadow bathed in golden sunlight. In the center of the meadow stood a majestic, ancient tree with branches that seemed to touch the sky. Spyra appeared before them, her ethereal glow even brighter in the sunlight. You have done well to come this far. The final trial, the trial of heart, awaits you. This trial will test your compassion and selflessness. The group approached the ancient tree, where they found a small, injured creature lying at its base. It was a young fawn, its leg caught in a trap. The fawn looked up at them with pleading eyes. Kai knelt beside the fawn, gently examining its injury. "We need to help it," he said, his voice filled with concern. Luna nodded, her hands already glowing with healing magic. "I can heal its wound, but we need to free it from the trap first." Rex stepped forward, using his strength to carefully pry open the trap. The fawn whimpered, but Kai and Luna soothed it with gentle words and healing magic. Tammo nuzzled the fawn, offering comfort. As the fawn's leg healed, it stood up and nuzzled each member of the group in gratitude. The ancient tree's branches rustled, and a soft, warm light enveloped the group. "You have shown great compassion and selflessness," Spyra said, her voice filled with pride. "You have passed the trial of heart." The ground beneath the ancient tree shifted, revealing a hidden staircase leading down into the earth. "The crystal of eternity lies below," Spyra continued. "But be warned, its power is immense. Use it wisely." With Sipeo's guidance and the strength of their bond, the group descended the staircase, ready to face whatever lay ahead. They knew that their journey was far from over, but together, they could overcome any obstacle. What do you think of this? Let's bring this twist to life. Chapter 11, The Awakening. The group descended the hidden staircase, their hearts pounding with anticipation. At the bottom, they found a grand chamber illuminated by the soft glow of the crystal of eternity. It floated in the center of the room, radiating a powerful, mesmerizing light. The player stepped forward, their hand reaching out to grasp the crystal. As their fingers closed around it, a blinding light enveloped them, and everything went dark. Chapter 12, Reality Unveiled. The player awoke with a start, gasping for air. The world around them was hazy, and they felt a strange heaviness in their limbs. As their vision cleared, they realized they were lying on a cold, metallic floor. The familiar faces of young Danny and Gummy Man hovered above them, concern etched on their features. "Hey, you're awake," young Danny exclaimed, relief flooding his voice. "We were worried the sleeping gas might have been too strong." Gummy Man nodded, his usual playful demeanor replaced with seriousness. "You were out for a while. We tried to wake you, but it seemed like you were trapped in some kind of dream." The player sat up, their mind racing. The vivid memories of the enchanted forest, the trials, and their companions flashed before their eyes. "It felt so real," they murmured. "We were on a quest to find the crystal of eternity." Young Danny and Gummy Man exchanged glances. "Sounds like quite an adventure," Gummy Man said with a grin. "But now that you're back, we need to focus on our mission here." The player nodded, shaking off the lingering effects of the dream. "Right. Let's get back to it." As they stood up, the player couldn't help but feel a strange sense of loss, as if they had left something important behind in the dream world. But with young Danny and Gummy Man by their side, they knew they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in reality. Absolutely. Let's continue the adventure in Quests of the Endless Abyss. Chapter 13, The Return to Reality. As the players shook off the remnants of the dream, they found themselves in a dimly lit room filled with strange machinery and flickering screens. Young Danny and Gummy Man helped them to their feet, their expressions a mix of relief and determination. "We need to figure out what happened while you were out," young Danny said, glancing around the room. "This place looks like some kind of control center." Gummy Man nodded, his eyes scanning the screens. "Yeah, and it seems like whoever put us here didn't expect us to wake up so soon." The player took a deep breath, their mind still reeling from the vivid dream. "Let's find out what this place is and how we can get out of here." As they explored the room, they discovered a series of blogs and recordings detailing experiments with virtual reality and mind control. It became clear that they had been part of a larger scheme to trap their minds in a simulated world. Looks like we were part of some twisted experiment, young Danny muttered, his fists clenching in anger. But why us? Gummy Man tapped on one of the screens, bringing up a map of the facility. Whatever the reason, we need to get out of here and stop whoever's behind us. The player nodded, their resolve strengthening. Let's find an exit and put an end to this. Chapter 14, The Escape Plan. With the map in hand, the trio navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the facility. They encountered various obstacles, from locked doors to patrolling guards, but their combined skills and quick thinking helped them overcome each challenge. As they moved deeper into the facility, they stumbled upon a room filled with advanced technology and strange artifacts. Among them was a device that looked eerily familiar to the player. That's the Crystal of Eternity, the player whispered, their heart racing. But how is it here? Young Danny examined the device. It must be a replica or some kind of projection. Maybe it was used to create the dream world we were trapped in. Gummy Man nodded. Whatever it is, we should take it with us. It might be the key to shutting down this whole operation. With the crystal in hand, they continued their journey, finally reaching a large, heavily guarded door. The player activated CPO, hoping the AI could help them bypass the security. CPO, you disable the security system? The player asked. CPO's holographic form appeared, analyzing the door's mechanisms. Accessing security protocols. System override initiated. Door unlocking. The door clicked open, revealing a long corridor leading to the outside world. The trio exchanged relieved smiles and hurried down the corridor, eager to escape the facility. Chapter 15, A New Beginning. As they emerged into the sunlight, the player took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their ordeal lift. Young Danny and Gummy Man stood beside them, their expressions a mix of exhaustion and triumph. We did it, young Danny said, a grin spreading across his face. We're free. Gummy Man clapped the player on the back. And we have the crystal. Now we just need to figure out how to use it to stop whoever's behind us. The player nodded, their mind already racing with possibilities. Let's find a safe place to regroup and plan our next move. With the Crystal of Eternity in their possession and their bond stronger than ever, the trio set off into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. They knew that their journey was far from over, but together they could overcome any obstacle and uncover the secrets of Let's dive back into the quests of the endless abyss with this twist. Chapter 16, The True Awakening. As the player, young Danny, and Gummy Man stood in the sunlight, the player felt a strange pull towards the Crystal of Eternity. Without thinking, they reached out and took the crystal from Gummy Man's hands. The moment their fingers closed around it, a blinding light enveloped them once more. Chapter 17, Back to the Abyss. The player awoke with a start, gasping for air. They found themselves back in the familiar surroundings of the enchanted forest, the air filled with the scent of pine and the distant sound of rushing water. The vivid memories of the facility and their escape faded like a distant dream. Kai, Luna, Rex, and Tamo were by their side, looking concerned. Are you all right? Kai asked, his voice steady and reassuring. The player nodded, still disoriented. I think so. It felt like I was somewhere else, but now I'm back. Luna placed a comforting hand on the player's shoulder. You must have had a vision. The Crystal of Eternity is known to reveal hidden truths and alternate realities. Rex grinned. Well, whatever it was, we're glad to have you back. We still have a quest to complete. The player took a deep breath, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Let's do this. Chapter 18, The Final Trial. With the Crystal of Eternity now in their possession, the group knew they were close to their goal. They followed Fyra deeper into the forest, where the final trial awaited. This is the true trial of heart, Fyra said, her voice filled with gravity. You must use the crystal to heal the heart of the forest, which has been corrupted by dark magic. The group approached a large ancient tree, its bark blackened and twisted. The air around it was thick with the malevolent energy. The player stepped forward, holding the crystal aloft. CPO, any advice? The player asked, activating the AI smartwatch. CPO's holographic form appeared, analyzing the situation. The crystal's power can purify the corruption, but it will require a great deal of energy and focus. You must channel your compassion and determination into the crystal. The player nodded, closing their eyes and concentrating. They felt the crystal grow warm in their hand, its light intensifying. Slowly, the dark energy began to recede, replaced by a soft golden glow. The ancient tree's bark returned to its natural state, and the malevolent energy dissipated. The forest around them seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, the air becoming fresh and vibrant once more. "You have done it," Fyra said, her voice filled with awe. "The heart of the forest is healed, and the crystal of eternity has fulfilled its purpose." The group exchanged relieved smiles, their bond stronger than ever. They knew that their journey was far from over, but with the power of the crystal and their unwavering determination, they could face any challenge that lay ahead. What do you... Let's continue the adventure with this exciting twist. Chapter 19, The Crystal's Power. With the heart of the forest healed, the player felt a sense of accomplishment. However, a strange compulsion drew them back to the crystal of eternity. They reached out and grasped it once more, feeling its warmth and power surge through them. Suddenly, the world around them began to blur and shift. The familiar faces of Kai, Luna, Rex, and Tamo faded away, replaced by a swirling vortex of colors and light. The player felt themselves being pulled through space and time, their surroundings changing rapidly. Chapter 20, back to Roblox's quest of the Endless Abyss. The player landed with a thud on a soft, grassy surface. As they looked around, they realized they were back in the digital world of Roblox, specifically in the realm of quests of the Endless Abyss. The vibrant, pixelated landscape stretched out before them, filled with familiar sights and sounds. Young Danny and Gummy Man were by their side, looking just as disoriented. "Whoa, what just happened?" Young Danny exclaimed, rubbing his head. Gummy Man looked around, his eyes wide with amazement. "We're back in Roblox. This is the game we were working on." The player stood up, feeling a mix of excitement and confusion. The Crystal of Eternity must have transported us back here. But why? As they pondered this, CPO's holographic form appeared on the player's wrist. It seems the crystal's power transcends both reality and virtual worlds. "It has brought you back here for a reason." The player nodded, their mind racing with possibilities. "We need to figure out what that reason is, and how we can use the crystal's power to complete our quest." Young Danny grinned, his eyes sparkling with determination. "Let's explore this world and see what we can find. There must be clues or challenges that will help us understand the crystal's true purpose." Gummy Man nodded enthusiastically. "And with CPO's help, we can navigate this world more easily. Let's get to it." With renewed energy and a sense of adventure, the trio set off into the digital landscape of Roblox's quests of the Endless Abyss. They knew that their journey was far from over, but with the power of the Crystal of Eternity and their unwavering determination, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Let's dive into this intense twist. Chapter 21, The Desolate City. As the player held the Crystal of Eternity, it suddenly began to flatten and shimmer with an eerie light. Before they could react, the crystal teleported far away, leaving the player alone. Young Danny and Gummy Man were nowhere to be found. The player blinked, trying to make sense of their surroundings. They were in a torn-down city, the buildings barred up and inaccessible. The air was thick with the smell of decay, and the distant groans of zombies, goblins, orcs, and other monstrous creatures echoed through the streets. Suddenly, a series of pop-ups appeared on a HUD projected directly into the player's vision, courtesy of their brain chip. HUD activated. Objective: survive and find the Crystal of Eternity. Status alone. Companions missing. Threat level high. The player took a deep breath, their heart pounding. They knew they had to stay calm and focused if they were going to survive this nightmare. Chapter 22, Survival Instincts. The player moved cautiously through the desolate streets, keeping an eye out for any signs of danger. The HUD provided real-time updates, highlighting potential threats and safe paths. As they navigated the city, they encountered a group of zombies shuffling towards them. The player quickly scanned their surroundings and spotted a makeshift weapon, a broken pipe, lying nearby. They grabbed it and prepared to defend themselves. With swift, calculated strikes, the player managed to fend off the zombies, their brain chip providing tactical advice and enhancing their reflexes. Once the immediate threat was neutralized, they continued their search for the crystal and their missing companions. Chapter 23, Unexpected Allies. As the player ventured deeper into the city, they stumbled upon a small, hidden enclave. Inside, a group of survivors had set up a makeshift camp. They were a mix of humans and other creatures, all banding together to survive the horrors outside. One of the survivors, a grizzled old man with a mechanical arm, approached. "You look like you Been through hell, said, voice rough but kind. Name's Griff, and this is our little sanctuary. You're welcome to stay, but we could use some help. The player nodded, grateful for the rest. I'm looking for a crystal and my friend. Have you seen anything unusual